I never thought I'd end up knee-deep in cow shit, staring down a billionaire's private army of lawyers while my own land turned into a dust bowl. But that's exactly what happened the day I grabbed my bolt cutters and snipped the main line feeding her precious herd, 3,500 head of prime Angus, worth more than my entire ranch. In that split second, as the water geysered into the sky like Old Faithful on steroids, I felt the raw thrill of payback, the kind that makes you question if you're the hero or the villain in your own damn story. It started with a handshake, the kind that seals deals in Texas bars over warm beer and tall tales. Her name was Karen Voss. Yeah, that Karen, the one who'd clawed her way from trailer park to Forbes' list with a perfume empire built on scents that smelled like money and entitlement. She rolled into my county 5 years back, buying up half the watershed like it was Black Friday at Neiman Marcus. My ranch, the Double Bar H, had been in the family since the Alamo days. 200 acres of scrub oak and bluebonnets, with a spring-fed lake that kept my 500 head watered through the worst droughts. I was Jake Harlan, 42, divorced, and more comfortable wrangling steers than spreadsheets. Life was simple. Fix fences, grill brisket, chase skirts at the county fair. Then she built Voss Valley Estates, a gated McMansion sprawl on the ridge overlooking my spread, complete with infinity pools, a helipad, and a stable of show horses that cost more than my truck. But the real kicker? Her eco-resort diverted the creek that fed my lake. At first, it was just a trickle. My cows lapped at mud, and I bit my tongue, figuring neighbors hash it out over coffee. I drove up to her gates one dusty afternoon, Stetson in hand, and introduced myself. "Ma'am, name's Jake. That creek yonder, it's choking my water supply. Mind if we chat about rerouting?" She met me on her veranda, all Botox smiles and Lululemon armor, sipping a green juice that probably cost $20. "Jake, darling," she cooed, her voice like honeyed nails on a chalkboard. "We're committed to sustainability here. Solar panels, rainwater harvesting, the works. Your little operation will adapt." Little operation? I've been cabbing here since I could walk. But I played nice, suggested a shared pump system. She laughed, a tinkling sound that set my teeth on edge. "Pumps? Oh, honey, that's so rustic. We'll send our engineers." The engineers never came. Instead, her lawyers did, certified mail, all legalese about riparian rights and superior upstream claims. Turns out, her billions bought not just land, but water lawyers from Austin who twisted state law like a pretzel. My lake shrank to a puddle, my hayfields yellowed, and my vet bills skyrocketed from colic cases. I scraped by on loans, selling off heirloom gear to keep the lights on. Neighbors whispered, "Harlan's folding. Voss owns the valley now. Desperation breeds innovation, or so they say." I got the idea from an old-timer at the feed store: drill a well right into the lake bed. The aquifer was deep but accessible. Permits were a rubber stamp for ranchers like me. I'd save my herd, maybe even bottle the water and flip off the drought. Hired a crew from Lubbock, marked the spot with lime, and broke ground on a sweltering July morning. The rig hummed like a beast, biting into the earth, and for the first time in months, I tasted victory, cool, mineral-rich promise bubbling up. That's when her helicopter buzzed overhead, rotors chopping the air like Judgment Day. It touched down on my pasture, kicking up dust devils, and out stepped Karen in aviators and a pantsuit that screamed, "I sue for fun," flanked by 2 suits and a sheriff's deputy. My deputy, who looked like he'd rather be fishing. She marched over, heels sinking into the dirt. "This stops now," she barked, waving a sheaf of papers. "You are violating the HOA covenants for Voss Valley Estates. That lake? It's contiguous to my property line. Unauthorized extraction endangers our groundwater table. HOA on my ranch." I'd laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. But no, her estate's bylaws, filed sneaky-like with the county, claimed aesthetic oversight over adjacent lands. Some bullshit clause about preserving the visual harmony of the watershed. Her lawyer, a weasel named Hargrove, droned on, "Ms. Voss's development includes subsurface rights via easement. Your well could cause sinkholes, contaminate her filtration systems. Cease and desist, or face injunction." I stared at her, shovel in hand, sweat stinging my eyes. Karen, this is my lake. My water. You stole the creek. Now you're stealing the rain from under my boots. She didn't flinch. Progress, Jake. Adapt or sell. I'll give you a fair price, double market. Double? That'd barely cover her diversion costs, let alone my pride. The deputy shifted uncomfortably. He knew the score. Old money versus new, but her checkbook was fatter. By sundown, the rig was towed off, my deposit gone, and a temporary restraining order taped to my gate. I sat on the porch with a fifth of bourbon, watching my cows cluster around the shrinking pond like ghosts. Betrayal burned hotter than the August sun. She played dirty from jump, buying off the waterboard, schmoozing commissioners at her galas. I wasn't just losing water, I was losing my legacy. And in Texas, that's worse than death. That's when the revenge clicked, simple as a fence post. Her empire? Built on beef. Voss Valley wasn't just mansions. It was a 5,000-acre cattle operation, the backbone of her organic brand. Those 3,500 Angus grazed her lower pastures, slopping from irrigation lines that snaked down from the same aquifer I'd try to tap. Shared head gates, county maintained, but her pumps pulled 90% of the flow. Cut those lines, and her herd would thirst faster than mine ever did. Poetic, right? Eye for an eye, hoof for hoof. I stewed on it for weeks, the order festering like a boil. Bills piled up. I auctioned my best bull, watched bidders lowball like vultures. Friends urged caution. Jake, she's got pull. Feds, headlines, you'll be the villain. Villain? She was the one turning neighbors into serfs. At the VFW hall, grizzled vets nodded over beers. Water wars built this state, son. Fight smart. Smart meant quiet. No manifestos, no cameras, just bolt cutters under moonlight. The night was black as sin, stars punched out by her estate's floodlights. I parked my truck a mile out, hiked in with a backpack, cutters, gloves, a thermos of coffee strong enough to wake the dead. The canal hugged the fence line, her side barbed and patrolled by motion cams I'd scouted from binoculars. But the main feeder? A fat PVC artery, buried shallow under a service road, vulnerable as a vein. I waited for the witching hour, when her guards swapped shifts and coyotes howled distractions. Snip! The sound was anticlimactic, like pruning roses. But then, whoosh, the pipe ruptured, water jetting skyward in a silvery arc, soaking the earth like a biblical flood in reverse. Alarms wailed distant. Lights flickered on like fireflies in hell. I bolted, heart pounding, mud caking my jeans. By dawn, her pastures would be a swamp, but the real hurt? The drought that followed. No flow meant no refills. Her tanks would drain by noon. And those cows? They'd be bawling for mercy. I made it home before the sun cracked the horizon, collapsing into bed with the taste of copper on my tongue. Sleep came in fits, dreams of stampedes and courtroom gavels. Woke to my phone exploding. Voicemails from unknown numbers, texts from the sheriff. Harlan, what the fuck? Turn on the local news, and there it was, drone shots of chaos at Voss Valley. Karen, microphone in manicured fist, raging to reporters, sabotage. This terrorist attacked my livelihood. 3,500 animals at risk. I demand justice. Her face, twisted in fury, mascara smudged from tears. Cut to her vet teams hauling hay, cowboys herding the herd toward emergency troughs trucked in from God knows where. The backlash hit like a Nor'wester. Social media lit up. Ranch revenge trending, split down the middle. City slickers called me an eco-terrorist. Hillbilly anarchy. Water rights are sacred. Ranchers in the comments? Fireworks. Voss been screwing us all. Good on Harlan. Polls on the evening news. 52% sided with her, citing property sanctity. The rest? She's a water hog in Louboutins. Protests brewed. Her fans picketing my gate with signs. Cattle killer. My allies countering with barbecues. Free the flow. But the real storm? Her lawsuit. Hargrove filed by 10 a.m. $50 million in damages, criminal mischief, intent to harm. Deputies hauled me in for questioning, cuffs cold on my wrists. Jake, we know it was you. The sheriff sighed, an old poker buddy. Footprints match your boots. Give us a plea. I lawyered up with a public defender who looked greener than spring grass. Bail set at $100K. I pawned my grandpa's watch to scrape it. Jail was a blur of fluorescent hell. Bunked with a meth head who snored like a chainsaw. Released on my own recognizance after 48 hours, I drove home to find my gate padlocked. No trespassing signs from her goons. My remaining cows lowed pitifully at the fence, ribs showing. Karen's play. Countersue for the well block. Tie me in knots till I folded. But folding? Not in Harlem blood. The trial prep dragged into fall. Leaves turning gold as my world turned to ash. Discovery unearthed her dirt. Emails to commissioners, bribes disguised as donations. My lawyer grinned. Leverage Jake. We flipped the script. I went public, spilling to a podcaster from Austin. She banned my well, starved my land. I hit back where it hurts. Her wallet. Download spiked. Sponsors dropped her perfumes like hot coals. Boycotts hit. Don't smell like entitlement. Her side? Nuclear. Private investigators tailed me, digging into my ex's custody beef, painting me as unstable. Tabloids ran Rancher's rampage, from dust to cuffs. She testified in depots, voice quivering. He threatened me, said I'd thirst for this. Lies, all of it, but juries eat sob stories. Whispers in the courthouse. Poor Karen, building dreams, attacked by jealousy. By winter, the herd cull began. Her vets put down 200 head, too weak from thirst, even with haulers. Losses mounted, $2 mil a week in feed, lawsuits from buyers. She sold parcels to cover, her empire cracking like dry clay. Me? I crowdfunded legal fees, turned my ranch into a symbol, tours for donors, stand with Harlan, teas flying off Etsy. But victory's a double-edged spur. The judge ruled partial. I owed for sabotage, but her easement? Bullshit voided. Well, permit reinstated, with back pay for my losses. Karen? Fined for water misuse. Her brand tanked 40% overnight. She fled to her Hamptons Pi Datura, selling Voss Valley piecemeal. Last I heard, she's hawking essential oils on QVC, voice hoarse from screaming at shadows. As for me, I drilled that well, water gushing pure as redemption. My lake refilled, cows fattened, and I even dated a reporter who covered the trial. Sparks over steak at the diner. But late nights, staring at the stars, I wonder, was it worth the scars? The headlines branded me forever. Hero to some, vandal to others. Karen got her bitter pill, but revenge? It leaves a thirst no aquifer can quench. I figured the dust would settle after the gavel dropped, but in Texas, grudges grow like mesquite in a monsoon. Karen didn't slink away quiet. Oh no, she weaponized her downfall, turning victimhood into venom. 2 weeks post-ruling, my mailbox overflowed with subpoenas, not from her, but from every busybody in the state. Environmental groups sued, claiming my vigilante cut polluted the canal with sediment, killing fish downstream. Eco-vandal, their press release screamed, photos of scrawny trout floating belly up. Never mind her diversions, starve the river first. Irony's a bitch with a law degree. I hunkered down, fortifying the ranch like a fortress. Barbed wire doubled, cameras from a buddy security gig blinking red sentinels. The well crew returned under floodlights, pumps humming defiant anthems. First draw was sweet, gallons cascading into troughs, my cows plunging muzzles in like it was Christmas. I hooped, cracking a Lone Star at the hands. To Voss, may her perfume smell like regret. Laughter echoed, but underneath, a knot, tight as a hangman's noose. Freedom tasted like ash when you knew the hangman was still sharpening his blade. Word spread fast in ranch country. CB radios crackling, texts pinging from Pecos to the Panhandle. Allies showed, feed donations from sympathetic outfits, a lawyer pro bono from Dallas who specialized in David versus Goliath water beefs. But the Karens of the world? They mobilized. Her fan club. Yes, she had one. Voss Vixens, middle-aged influencers in yoga pants, organized carpools to my gate, waving placards. Justice for cattle. Jail Jake. One afternoon, A minivan full of them pulled up, blasting Celine Dion from tinny speakers. The ringleader, a peroxide blonde with a megaphone, hollered, "You think you're a folk hero? You're a criminal. Those cows had names." Names? I leaned on the fence, arms crossed. "Lady, my bull's named Justice. He lost 20 pounds to her greed. Drives safe, mud slick." They hurled water bottles, ironic, right? And peeled out, tires spinning divots. By evening, it went viral. Ranch feud escalates, women terrorized. Karen retweeted from her East Coast exile, adding fuel. Pray for my herd. Harlan's unhinged. Unhinged. Pot. Kettle. Black as her bankrupted soul. The controversy snowballed, burying me under avalanches of opinion. Late-night talk radio invited me on. Jake Harlan, live from the line. Villain or victor? I kept it real, drawl steady. Folks, water's life out here. She damned the creek, star my spread. I fixed it the cowboy way, direct. Caller split. A vet from Abilene cheered. Damn right. HOAs ain't for open range. A prof from UT Austin sked. Anarchy over arbitration? Reckless. Ratings soared. Sponsors hawk my story as a cautionary tee. Don't be a Harlan. Call a lawyer. But the real gut punch? Family fallout. My ex, Lisa, called from Houston, voice iced. "Jake, you're poisoning our girl against her aunt. Karen's her godmother. Remember? Forgot? Hell, Karen bankrolled our divorce settlement. Bought Lisa that condo to keep peace. Now, custody hearings loomed. Her team painted me as volatile, citing the pipe clip as Exhibit A. Lily, my 8-year-old Spitfire with pigtails and a penchant for roping calves. FaceTime, teary. Daddy, why's everyone mad? Did you hurt the moo cows? I choked, forcing a grin. Nah, kiddo. Just teaching a lesson. Like when you sass your teacher. Consequences. But inside, shredded. Revenge's bill comes collect on the innocent. Spring thawed the fields, but not the feud. Karen counterattacked via proxy. Her remaining cronies on the waterboard pushed a Voss Legacy Act, mandating meters on every ranch pump. For equity, they lied, really to choke independents like me. I testified in Austin, Stetson in lap, facing a panel of suits who smelled like her Chanel. "Gentlemen," I said, voice gravel, "this ain't equity. It's extortion. One woman's thirst shouldn't drown us all." A commissioner, bought off with gala tickets, sneered. "Mr. Harlan, your methods barbaric. We need rules." Barbaric? Tell that to the Comanches who fought for this water with arrows, not affidavits. Protests peaked Memorial Day. Her vixens versus my ranch rebels, a ragtag crew of vets, welders, and wide-eyed kids waving American flags. Barbecue smoke curled skyward. Ribs sizzling on grills trucked in from the co-op. Speeches flew. A graybeard rancher thundered. "Voss thinks money buys rain? God don't take IOUs." Cheers erupted, but tension crackled. Fists clenched, a shoved shoulder here, a curse there. Cops in riot gear ringed the lot, tasers humming. Karen livestreamed from afar. "Look at the mob. Anarchy at my doorstep." Then it boiled over. A vixen tossed a pie, cream, not cow, smacking a rebel square in the kisser. Chaos. Shouts, scuffles, sirens wailing. I waded in, pulling apart a tangle of limbs. Enough. This ain't her circus. But too late. A deputy zip-tied me for inciting, though video showed me playing peacemaker. Booked again, this time on disorderly. Lisa got wind, filed emergency custody. Unfit environment. Lily shipped off to her aunts. Karen's Hampton's clone, all marble and malice. Summer scorched in, my well pumping steady, but my spirit wilting. The board shelved the act, thanks to leaked emails proving payoffs. Her empire's last gasp exposed. Voss Vixens fizzled. Boycotts bit deep, her stock plummeting to penny status. She surfaced in a tell-all interview, Vanity Fair spread. Betrayed by the heartland, I tried to elevate. Harlan? A symptom of America's rot. Sympathies surged. Fundraisers for Karen's comeback. Celebs tweeting stand with Voss. My podcast a gig? Cancelled. Too hot, they said. Rebels drifted. Without a villain to punch, the fire died. By July 4th, I stood alone on the porch, fireworks popping distant over her sold-off ridge. Lily visited supervised, wide eyes tracing the scars. Daddy, Aunt Karen says you're famous bad. Famous? Infamous, more like. I hug her tight. Famous for fighting Bean. For us. But as she left, the knot twisted tighter. Revenge had won the battle. My water flowed, her cattle scattered to auctions. But the war? It hollowed me. Neighbors nodded wary hellos. Trust eroded like creek banks. Then the letter came, gold embossed from her attorney's settlement offer. $5 mill to drop appeals, signed an NDA. Closure, it purred. I burned it in the fire pit, sparks dancing like defiant stars. Closure? Nah, but peace? Maybe time for that. Autumn winds whispered change, stripping leaves like lies from a politician's mouth. With Karen's shadow receding, I turned inward, rebuilding not just fences, but the fractured bits of Jake Harlan. The ranch greened under the well's bounty, hay bailing high as my doubts. I hired on extra hands, young bucks fresh from AG school, teaching him the ropes. Water's gold, boys. Guard it fierce. Morning started with coffee black as resolve, scanning headlines for her next ploy. None came. Silence from the east, broken only by tabloid whispers of her spiritual retreat in Sedona. Crystals over cattle, yoga over yapping. But backlash lingers like smoke from a range fire. The eco-suit dragged on, depositions in a stuffy Lubbock courtroom where lawyers grilled me like steak. Mr. Harlan, did you consider the amphibians displaced by your action? The plaintiff's suit droned, adjusting his bow tie. Amphibians? Son, I drawled, I consider my herd dying. Frogs hop, cows drop. The judge, a dryland rancher himself, chuckled, but the fine stuck. $50,000 for negligent discharge. Pocket change against her millions lost, but it stung. A reminder that justice ain't blind. She's bought. Custody? A knife twist. Lisa's motion painted me as a powder keg. Affidavits from vixens swearing I'd incited violence. I lawyered up again, this time with a shark from San Antone who cross-examined like a bullwhip. Ms. Harlan, he purred in chambers. You accepted Ms. Voss's settlement post-divorce. Influence. Lisa flushed, mumbling about gratitude. Lily's guardian ad litem visited the ranch, wide-eyed at the calving barn. Cozy, Mr. Harlan. Stable. Stable, ah. But her report swayed the judge. Joint custody, with my weekends contingent on no media circus. First pickup, Lily bounded from Lisa's SUV, braids flying, clutching a stuffed steer. Daddy, I told school about the well war. You're like Davy Crockett. Crockett? Died at the Alamo. I swallowed hard, scooping her up. More like Daniel Boonbean. Explorer, not fighter. We roped dummies in the arena, her giggles echoing as she lassoed a sawhorse. Aunt Karen called, says she's sorry. Kinda. Sorry? From the Queen of Quip? I probed gentle. Yeah? What else? Lily shrugged. She's sad. No more big house. Sells lotion now on TV. Schadenfreude is a sly fox, nipping at heels when you least expect. I tuned into QVC one rainy eve, bourbon in hand. There she was, Karen Voss, beaming under studio lights, hawking Voss Vitality Elixir. Rejuvenate your flow. The irony? A water-themed serum, drops of essence, mimicking rain. Callers gushed. Karen, you're so resilient. She teared up. Trials make us stronger, darlings. Like that rancher who? Well, water under the bridge. Water under my bridge now. Sales ticked modest. Her billions? Whittled to 7 figures, per Forbes' fallen mogul sidebar. The outrage simmered low, but flared in pockets. Adoka's series pitched, Ranch Reckoning. The Harlan tapes, netted me a producer's card, but I passed. Ain't no tapes, just truth. Instead, I wrote a blog, lessons from the line, water, wrath, and why we fight. Posts went viral in AG circles, invites to TEDx-style talks in Dallas. Sustainable revenge, balancing scales in the heartland. Audiences leaned in, suits and Stetsons mixed, nodding at my closer. Karen taught me. Power corrupts absolutely, but community? That's the real aquifer. Yet controversy clung like burrs. Old rebel pals drifted back, beers in hand. Jake, run for commissioner. Stick it to the boards. Tempting. My name carried weight now, a double-barrel ballot bullet. But politics? Snake pit, and I'd had my fill of venom. Now, boys, I'll fight from the fence. Whispers persisted. Coward. Or smart. Even my date, the reporter, call her Sam, sharp as a spur, probed over wine. You're a symbol, Jake. Own it, or it'll own you. We sparked, sure, stolen kisses in the truck bed, stars winking approval. But symbols fade, scars don't. Winter bit hard, blizzards blanketing the valley in white amnesty. Karen's last jab landed via certified mail, a cease and desist for my blog, claiming defamation. Your truth maligns my recovery. Hargrove's signature, shaky now. My shark shredded it. Countersuit for harassment. She dropped it days later, a white flag in legalese. Rumor mill churned. Nervous breakdown, therapy in Tulum. Bitter? Damn right. The woman who damned my dreams now dreamed of normalcy. Ironic absolution. By New Year's, Lily stayed a full week, baking cookies with my ma's recipe, flour dusting her nose. Daddy, can we visit Aunt Karen? She's lonely. Lonely? The word hung, heavy as hail. A mold, then nodded. Maybe, Bean. Bridges burn easy, but some rebuild. Drove east in the F-150. Snow chains rattling, Lily chattering about school plays. Her condo? Modest, ocean view mocking her fall. Karen answered the door in sweats, unbotoxed, lines etching real hurt. Jake, she breathed, eyes wary. Lily insisted. Awkward tea in the kitchen, Lily bridging the gulf with crayon drawings of peace cows. Karen thought slow. I was wrong. Greed blinded me. Lost everything. Husband left. Board ousted me. Husband? News to me. She'd been solo in the spotlight. I sipped, neutral. Water does that, blinds then clears. No gloating, just truth. She nodded, tears tracing. Payback's hell. Yours. Fair in a twisted way. Twisted? Understatement. But absolution flickered. Hers, mine. Back home, the ranch slumbered under frost, while house humming lullabies. Sam joined for bonfire nights, marshmallows toasting as we unpacked baggage. You're healing, cowboy, she murmured, head on my shoulder. Healing? Scars itch, but yeah, fading. Karen's brand relaunched small, Voss waters, alkaline bottles from ethical springs. I bought a case, anonymous, tasted like truce. Spring bloomed defiant, bluebonnets carpeting the lake's edge. Lily roped her first real calf, whoops echoing. Rebels reunited for a branding bee, fires crackling stories. No protests, just progress. Co-op talks on shared pumps, board seats flipping to fair folk. Karen? A footnote. Her mansion raised for a community garden. Bitter end? For her, yeah. Throne toppled, crown cracked. For me? A hard-won harvest. Roots deeper than her reach. But in quiet moments, bolt cutters in the shed, I ponder, was the snip worth the storm? Controversy crowned me. Backlash broke me. Outrage outlasted us both. Revenge quenched one thirst, birthed another. For peace, perhaps. In America's heartland, that's the real long haul. Epilogues ain't tidy in real life. They're messy as a muddled brand. A year post-snip, the valley hummed a new rhythm. My well powering a micro-hydro setup, juicing solar panels for the co-op. Revenue trickled. Enough for a new tractor, college fund for Lily. She thrived, braces glinting as she HD her heifer to blue ribbons. Daddy, I'm a ranch girl like you. Pride swelled, thick as stock tank fog. Sam and I, solidified, rings swapped under oak arches, vows vowing no more wars, just us. Her byline shifted to features, Harlan's harmony, from feud to flow. We honeymooned in Big Bend, stars so close you could lasso, leaving grudges in the rear view. Karen? Her arc bent toward redemption, or at least reinvention. Voss waters caught niche fire. Hipsters slurped ethical hydration at farmers' markets, her face on bottles beaming contrite. A podcast mea culpa dropped. entitled No More, My Water Wake Up. Listeners split. Forgivers hailed growth. Haters heckled hypocrisy. She donated to aquifer funds, anonymously at first, then bold, grants for small ranches, Voss legacy scholarships. Lily got one, summer camp on her dime. Tell your aunt thanks. I texted Kurt. Reply. Tell her yourself. Coffee. I did. Neutral ground in a Marfa diner. Turquoise walls echoing old Route 66 ghosts. She slid in, slimmer, softer, jeans over jewels. Jake. Water under. I nodded, stirring black. Bridge not burned then. Talk flowed, awkward at first. Her losses, divorce finalized, empire echoes. My gains, custody full, her doubled. No apologies outright, but I said sorry. I saw your TEDx clip. Inspired. Flattery? Or fact? Didn't matter. Truce tasted like strong brew. Backlash faded to folklore. Bar spun, the Snips saga over whiskeys, morals muddled. Don't mess with Harlan's, or money can't buy mercy. Eco fines paid, suits settled. The canal ran clear, frogs croaking anthems. Rebels evolved into the Valley Water Watch, lobbying Austin for fair flow laws. My name on the charter, but no spotlight. Controversy? Lingered in laughs. A Netflix pitch circled. Thirst for justice. I passed. Truth's mine, not theirs. Instead, I mentored AG classes at the community college, drawl dishing revenge's reckoning, when to cut and when to cure. Kids leaned in, eyes wide. Would you do it again? Pause, then grin. For water? Hell yeah. For pride? Learn quicker. Summer solstice. Full moon lit the lake like liquid silver. Lily, 10 now, skips stones with Sam, giggles rippling. I watch from the dock, Stetson low, pipe cutters long retired to a shadow box. Trophy or tombstone? Both. Karen mailed a case of her water quarterly. Label quip. To the man who taught me to share. I shared with neighbors, toasts to thirst quenched. Bitter end for her? Nah, bittersweet brew. Her billions bruised but budding anew. Outrage? Ebbed to education. The cut that cleaved us closed circles unforeseen. In modern America's sprawl, from HOA tyrants to heartland holdouts, stories like ours stitch the seams. Controversy catalyzes, backlash builds, and revenge, if wielded wise, redeems. As cicadas chorused fade out, I raised a bottle, hers, ironically, to the horizon. Her mansion's ghost lot bloomed wildflowers now, bees buzzing free. My ranch, thriving testament, 500 head to 1,000, lake lapping full. Lily yelled, Daddy, your turn, biggest skip. I hurled, stone skimming 7, luck or lesson? Both. Life's a long throw, ripples reaching far. And in that reach, peace, hard-earned, deeply drunk. The valley slept sound, water whispering secrets to the stars. No bands, no bolts, just flow. Eternal, equitable, earned.